All right, we're going to take a look at our landing page again. So this would have been one of the first things you did. Nothing much here, it just says your name, what your main focus is. Let's make this a little bit more interactive. Okay, so our goal is, I'm going to go to a new one here. When you open it up, it says, hey, what is your name? Well, my name is, we'll just say Gurla, so before it said Mr. Okay, what is your main focus for today? Making computer science videos. Now, if I go here, now it just says Gurla instead of Mr. Gurla, and then it says making computer science videos. That's my main focus. So if you want, you can try that out on your own. We're going to be using JavaScript, or you can follow along here. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And we're going to go back. So this is our code that we started with, or ended with last time, and what we're going to start with here. So one of the big things that we need to make sure we do is that you haven't deleted this script tag. If you have, just copy it right now. And I'm going to put it at the end of it. Okay. And now we can start doing some coding. So the first question is, what is the name? And I'm going to use prompts. There are other ways to do this, but I'm going to use a prompt. And I'm going to label this or comment this. So prompt user for data. Okay. And I'm going to make a variable. I'm going to store this prompt in a variable. And my prompt will be, what is your name? Sorry, there we go. And we have to end JavaScript in a semicolon. So if I hit run, it should actually say, what is your name? Perfect. And I could answer, and nothing would happen. We want to keep that value stored, and we're going to store that in a variable, kind of a container. It's going to be let name equal. And now when I go run, nothing's going to happen still. But what we can do is once we've ran that name, we can actually put console.log. So this is going to, should put it into our log right here, and we can write it in there. And I'm going to put what my variable name is, which I just said was name. A little bit confusing. So I hit run. So what is your name? So now if I say Gurla, it should show up here. It does. So this is just writing down here. Now ideally, a user won't be looking at the console log, so that's not going to help us out too much. So how do we get this then to our HTML? Well, the first thing is we need to actually tell the computer what we want to replace. I want to replace this Mr. Gurla part. So I'm going to put a span tag there. So span, and I need to give it an ID. And I'm going to name it name span. Now it is camel casing there. And I need to close that off for where what I want to change. So I just want to change my name. So I'm going to put an end tag there. Again, that nothing should change right now. Everything's still working the same. Okay, good. So we go back to our JavaScript then. And this is where I need to output the data. So I'm going to, again, commenting out as much as I can, output data into landing page. So I have to use this command. It's document.getElement. So element, each one of these things in the HTML is an element. So the header, H2, paragraph, horizontal rule, all elements. So we're just looking at our document, and we're going to get the element by its ID. So by ID. Now, we gave it an ID here. We called it namespan. Now, what do we want to change about this ID? So we're go back here. What do we want to change about this? Like you can change different properties. So like I could change the font color, font size, any property that you might have in there. This is HTML. So to get the HTML, it is .inner HTML. And I want that to be equal to whatever my variable name is. Okay, so now if I hit run, it should ask what your name is. I'm just going to type in some random stuff here. And perfect. Good morning, SFSDFSDFSDF. Perfect. And that's it. There we go. So now our website's a little more interactive. But we also want to see what their focus was. So we need another prompt. So I'll put that under this prompt part. So we're going to have let. Now we should go and see what this was written as in our HTML. or sorry, no, let's go back one step here. Because that's our focus. We're just doing the variable right now. We're not getting an ID yet. Feel a little bit ahead of myself. We're going to prompt the person and say, what is your focus today? Again, end in a semicolon. And now when I go and run this, okay, what is your name? What is your focus? Okay, perfect. Now it's really important we just do step by step, make sure it works. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. So now that we know that prompt works, we need to actually put that prompt into the inner HTML. So again, we're going to use document.get element by ID. And we have to see what the ID is. Now I think if we look back, yeah, that focus has already been identified as focus. So that's kind of fortunate for us. That is its ID already. So we can just put focus. There we go. And again, it's the inner HTML that we want to change, or the HTML itself. And so I'm going to make that equal to my focus variable. A little bit confusing that I named the ID in the variable focus. I'm not sure I love that, but I'm not going to change it. So now I'll open this in a new browser. So what is your name? 1, 2, 3, 4. What is your focus today? QWERTY. And there we go. So my name has changed. That part has changed. And now we have an interactive landing page.